Francis, thanks so much. And thank you, my colleagues and friends who have read already tonight. And I look forward to one more reader who follows me. I live in St. Paul, and I have one of those wonderful old St. Paul front porches. And it's been quite a home in the home and outside, a safe place to be during this time of COVID. I've been a writer all my life. I think I began when I was a child. I remember loving every single poem that my mother read to me aloud, and went off to college and studied literature, and went off to a graduate program and studied poetry and literature. So I've been around the poetry scene for some time, and I'm an established voice, and I also feel as if every once in a while I find myself a new voice. And I want to tell you about that in just a moment, the new voice. But one of the projects, and Francis said we could mention books because this is a time we're all reading a lot more, and there's also a poetry reading challenge this month where people are reading a book a day. And my most recent project was to be co-editor of a book called Rocked by the Waters, Poems of Motherhood. And there are 135 really, really fine poems. And these women's voices need to be heard, including, by the way, one by Miriam Weinstein. And my publisher asked that Athena Kildegard and I each include one of our poems in it as well. So recommend this. I'm going to read one poem, and you might, by the way, hear sounds because I am out on my front porch right now, and you've got neighbors going by, and I have a new puppy. You might hear a bark if we're lucky, and she's a little nervous or excited. I'm going to read a poem that I wrote about the time that all of this was happening, this meaning first COVID and, well, maybe first Trump and then COVID and then the hope and despair of the things that are happening around social justice. At any rate, this is a poem called Baby Shower Toward the End of the World. And it goes like this. It's a prose poem. The women looked out from the windows in a tall building on an ocean that had remembered how much land it used to own. Over time, water rose and leaked into almost every corner on Earth. The women had come in rowboats and tied them to balconies on the 4th floor. From high up, the fleet looked like elm leaves. Since the elevator had long since sizzled and shut down, the women climbed 10 flights of stairs to their friend's apartment, pausing on the landings to catch their breath. The athletic ones encouraged others to keep going. Good luck, you're almost there. Luck was something everyone was running out of. Although food was scarce, the hostess had come up with canned ingredients to make a cold soup. Gifts for the baby girl were hand-me-downs, a red rattle, a knit bonnet, and 5 plastic bibs. The new mother was grateful for everything, trying to smile as her eyes grayed with tears. Each woman took a long time holding the baby to peer into the universe in her bright eyes and take in her smell of spring and the beginning of everything. So that was the beginning of that period of time. As Michelle Obama said, we're all a little depressed about things that are happening, including the dismantling of environmental standards, and that poem came from that. And I was really going downhill at the beginning of this sequestration time, but reached out to a friend who does watercolors, and we created a project together where every week she would send me a drawing, a watercolor painting, based often on a drawing, about a shelter, because I was feeling the need to be sheltered, and she was too. And I would send her a poem about a shelter that I thought of as comforting or important. And then she would respond to my poem, and I would respond to her painting. So we've come up with 30 shelters in words and in watercolors that will be a book this fall. And so I want to read 3 of those poems to you. And I'll begin with one from a front porch. That's the watercolor that I responded to by describing my own front porch. we weren't trying to illustrate each other's work, but just to get a reaction to one another's safe places or safe harbors. Porch. Even this hot summer, it happens the porch has its Saturday mornings of ease, its trees and bird song through the leaves. We drag chairs to the open air, settle in to watch the walkers parade by on city sidewalks with ears pressed to the seashells of their small phones. Sometimes we call out to a friend or wave to the red-haired toddler in a stroller waving at us. Even in this heat, everyone else seems intent on important business ahead. The dogs pull on their leashes and girls jog past, leaving a trail of glittering laughter. We're at the age we don't mind being passed by. Ambition has left us calm and easy in our wicker chairs, books in our laps. We just want to linger on the porch as if on vacation, observing people and scenery, part of and apart from us. The porch with its deck and white balustrades carries us like a boat on smooth water toward the long afternoons. And another poem from the book Shelter is a book to be Shelter. It hasn't been published yet, but it'll be out in the fall, is called Sanctuary Church. And this is a poem based on or after Randall Jarrell, the poet Randall Jarrell's poem called Protocols. Sanctuary Church. We came here in the rain. I brought my doll. The room is little and clean. Sometimes there is singing of many people in the walls. Shh, Mama touches fingers to my lips. It's secret how we got to this place. We used to live by grandmother. My school had a red door. We slept on the floor when guns shot. The coo of pigeons came in the light. We hide because we have no papers. The women with food bring papers for me to draw on and crayons bright as gold. My mother says that the women have hearts of gold I cannot see. Someday we will leave for a house with no fear. It will be good, like eating when you are hungry. And this is how we live. And this is how we live. A persona poem, of course. And Mimi Jennings, as you just heard, has written a series of persona poems as well in the voice of a young girl. And then the last poem, I got the inspiration for this one, this Shelter, from a poem by Sylvia Plath called Pregnancy in Nine, oh no, it's called Metaphors, but it's called something in 9 syllables. My status in 9 syllables, I can't quite get the title. We'll look it up afterwards, but it's about pregnancy in 9 syllables. You don't learn what it is until you've read what the riddle is. And so I'm created a riddle poem for this collection of poems. And it's called, well, I'm not going to tell you what it's called because that would give the riddle away. Clues to a riddle in 8 lines. When carried in the past, a symbol of prestige. What can be sturdy as a long bone? What's not usually a fair weather friend? What is often left behind, forgotten? Without one, a face might be washed. What succumbs to forces that turn it inside out? What decorates a beach and bans a burn? What tents 2 lovers who kiss? And that's the riddle in 8 lines. And this is what my friend Sharon DeMark, the watercolor that she made to show you what it is. Yes, an umbrella. So I had so much fun with this project, and I'm so grateful to Sharon DeMark for doing the watercolors. And for 4 months, we exchanged every week. And now we have 30 drawings and 30 shelters that we've written. And are, now I'm a little bereft. I'm looking for a new project to keep me going. Any suggestions, send me through chat or write me afterwards. Thanks so much, everybody, and especially to Francis James for thinking of this
Thank
one.
you. Yes.
And the Sylvia Plath line is, I am a riddle in 9 syllables.
Thank you, Brett. I am a riddle in 9 syllables, and it's pregnancy. I'll give it away now because I've already given it away. It's a wonderful poem. Thank